What's up, everybody? I'm Kyle Carlson, and this is the Rollback BMX Podcast, the #1 BMX podcast in the universe, according to me. Today's guest is Van Homan. Van has been on the show before and always has a ton of interesting stuff to say, and recently had some pretty drastic changes in his life that we're going to go through. And most importantly, he's one of the best street riders in the history of BMX, so show some goddamn respect. Sit back, listen up, prepare for the party. This is the Rollback BMX Podcast with Mr. Jonathan Vandiver Homan. So we're sitting here in your apartment in beautiful Tokyo. And 3 days ago was your birthday, and 2 days ago was Thanksgiving, and today is my birthday. So we have a lot to fucking celebrate.
Happy birthday. Do we have to curse right off the bat?
I'm just an angry guy. It's my birthday. Like, I'm supposed to be rich by now, and all of a sudden I just keep getting older and the money stays the same or gets less. It's like, I have a lot to curse about, man. So this is your spot. So this is where you live.
Yeah. Relocated to Tokyo about a month ago now, and loving it so far. You never kind of know, like, what just uprooting like that, but I think that's...
It's a ballsy move.
Yeah, thank you. I think, but the timing was perfect for me with the opportunity. There's a couple of difficult things with, like, a girl back home, my girlfriend back home, and then my dog and stuff, so that's, like, challenging, but overall, like... I'm loving it over here. I'm loving the culture and the spots and the people, and
this is a fucking great city. I'm cursing again. I'm sorry, but this is one of the best. Have you spent much time over here?
I'd spent like a week in Tokyo in 2002, and then a little bit of time in Hiroshima earlier this year, but not enough to really get just absorb it all. And that's exactly what I've been doing here. Met a lot of good people so far that have been helping me out and showing me around and just giving me the ins and outs of kind of the local spots, so I'm not just the tourist eating at Hooters every night.
Nothing wrong with that.
And
I remember
I had six Japanese people eating Thanksgiving dinner the other night, so that was pretty cool.
Is Thanksgiving a big deal to your family at home?
Yeah.
Like, is missing Thanksgiving like a big deal or not so much?
No, it's kind of a big deal. We usually have a big Thanksgiving with all the family, and I think my parents and my sister would really like to have seen me there. I don't think I've missed Thanksgiving in a long time. So
I don't think I've been to a Thanksgiving with my family in a long time. But growing up, my dad was, still is, an airline pilot, so he'd miss holidays quite a bit. So we're just always been accustomed to, like, we do holidays whenever. Like, we'll do Thanksgiving some other time. Like, I don't know. It's just... between me traveling a lot and my dad traveling a lot, it's just never really been, like, important. So things like this, to me, it's like, well, you're gone for Thanksgiving? I hear that from people at home a lot, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm going to a weird country to get drunk for my birthday. But anyway, so far so good. You're psyched out here. You've been riding.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that. Just exploring a new city, both the spots and the culture, and you kind of got set up in my apartment pretty quick. So trying to making it feel like home.
I'm impressed by how set up you are. It seems like you were just moving the other day, and now you're, like, legit settled, going to work 5 days a week. Like, your apartment's furnished. Like, you have a Japanese bank account. You're everything that has to do with being Japanese, other than being able to speak it and being about 2 feet shorter.
No, making it happen pretty quick. Like, I tried to do a lot of the legwork before I left so that I could stay in a hotel as little as possible. And it's good here too. Everybody's so polite here that you can actually accomplish things. I feel like if in the United States or most places in the world, if you walk up to a counter trying to, like, not speak it and you don't speak the language, they're just going to look at you and ignore you. And here they're, like, super helpful. So I think I was able to accomplish a lot of things a lot faster than I would have.
I think to put into perspective for the people who don't know and haven't spent time over here, tell the story or the generalization you told me yesterday about, like, when it's late at night and you're walking home and you're at a street corner and the walk sign isn't up.
Yeah, like, people here, you'll just be in the middle. There won't be a car or another human anywhere. And if, like, the crosswalk sign is red, they'll just stand there and wait. And you're like, I'm, like, looking around like, can't we just cross the street? Like, there's not a human or a car anywhere in sight. And but they'll just wait. They're like, there's so much respect. There was a kid, we were riding Spot the other day, and it was like a slide, like a playground, and these kids were, like, waiting to play on it. I didn't even realize this at the time. Like, I thought they were just watching, like, because I'm that like self-absorbed that I thought they wanted to watch me ride the Spot. But they were just waiting patiently while I was riding. And when I finished, they were all went, yay, and started playing on the slide. In the US, they would just play on the slide anyway and tell me
ruin your session
and tell me to screw off. But everybody's so polite and patient here.
We were shooting that photo yesterday, that manual into the wedge thing, and I didn't even realize I was set up and all my shit was kind of in the middle of a road. I thought it was just kind of like a piece of a sidewalk. Right. I didn't put two and two together, but then a car rolls up and patiently sits there and waits for me to move all my shit. No anger whatsoever.
Right.
It's just man, we could learn a lot. I just feel like at home, people are just heated.
No, it's a really respectful culture, and it's nice.
You said something to me the other day over text before I got here, and I can't remember how you worded it, but you were like, the shady parts of the city are nicer than the lower middle class suburbs where I grew up.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be. That's what's nice. I mean, maybe I'm being a little too naive. I guess things can still happen, but generally, it's such a safe country, and you can kind of explore freely and not have to be nervous about what neighborhood you're in or just being on the wrong side of the track, so to speak. So that's kind of nice.
Any big culture shock? Is anything kind of still taking you a bit to get used to?
I can't, not really. I mean, sometimes the food is a little bit like you have to sometimes search for that comfort food if that's what you want. Like yesterday morning, we wanted breakfast and we wanted it to be like eggs and home fries and bacon, and kind of had to hunt for that.
Yeah.
So maybe sometimes I like the traditional food here, but coming from where I come from, sometimes I just want that comfort food as well, and that can be a little hard to find. So I eat a lot of egg salad sandwiches from the corner store.
Dude, they're so good. It's funny because before I ever came to Tokyo, my uncle, shout out to Uncle Ron, had spent a lot of time, borderline lived over here for a while, and he was just like, just eat egg salad sandwiches. He's like, beer's expensive, you're gonna be partying a lot, just spend your money on beer and eat the egg salad sandwiches. I'm like, fuck man, when I'm home, one of the last things I will ever do is eat an egg salad sandwich from a corner store. That just sounds like passing away. And over here it's just like, man, I don't want to go to this nice sit down restaurant, I just want more egg salad sandwiches.
Yeah.
Family Mart.
Yeah, I've eaten plenty of them from Family Mart and Lawson, 7-Eleven.
Are 7-Elevens on par with Family Mart and Lawson?
I think so.
Nice.
Maybe not. Maybe
I've only really experienced Family Mart and Lawson, so
yeah.
I like to think that where we're at in life, people have to sit at home and listen to us talk about different egg salad sandwiches at gas stations in Japan. We don't need to dive too much into it, but for those who don't know, talk a little bit about your job here. And just throwing it out there, I was always under the impression, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct, that you didn't go looking for this job. This job kind of came looking for you.
No. So yeah, I mean, the way it kind of happened is... So my official title is BMX Freestyle Discipline Manager, and
in relation to the Olympics in 2020.
I'm working for Tokyo 2020, which is the organizing company for the 2020 Olympics. So they're organizing everything, the venues, the events, and then it kind of ties in with, that's where people get confused sometimes. Like, I don't actually work for the UCI, but I sort of work with the UCI. They're kind of an ally, so to speak. So I'll communicate with them about the details of how certain things are going to be set up. So
essentially, in this building, there's somebody representing every sport in the Olympics, and you're the guy in this building who is the BMX guy.
Right. So I'm the BMX freestyle guy. Like, there's even a different guy for BMX race and a different guy for mountain bikes. There's guys for skateboarding in there. I walked by some desks the other day where I saw like various AstroTurf samples. It looked like he was the soccer guy.
Nice.
So there's everybody for every sport.
So do you think it's going to come down to situations like that where, I know the UCI is involved, and the UCI has freestyle BMX guys with experience in the sport. Would it ever come down to you, like, looking at different materials, looking at course designs and stuff, or is this kind of up to the UCI?
Well, no, that's where, there's obviously a lot of pieces of the puzzle coming together. But yeah, like, I have input on these things, and that's where I get to kind of dictate and make those decisions. And it kind of, it has to be, it's a huge company. I mean, when you're talking about the Olympics, you're talking about the UCI, you're talking about...
Do you know how many sports are in the Olympics?
I'm not I do not, but I'm not naive in the sense of it's a bureaucracy, so there's a lot of hoops you got to jump through to get things done. But the reason I'm here is to be the voice for BMX, to do my best to make sure things get done right. And I'm really proud to be in that position. And, I guess what you mentioned earlier is I didn't really go hunting for this job. It just kind of worked out in the sense of I was judging UCI events. I would go to some of the UCI meetings because BMX freestyle is new to them. So they would talk to us about how do we need to steer the ship? We don't know about this. Teach us, tell us, So it kind of snowballed from there and ended up me getting recommended for this job, which I'm ecstatic about. I mean, to have this once in a lifetime opportunity to be able to live in Japan for 2 years and to be able to kind of spearhead the first BMX freestyle Olympic event it's an honor. And I couldn't be more psyched about it. I couldn't be more psyched about the timing of it. I was kind of looking for, all right, I kind of need to figure out that next thing. I was, kind of riding professionally, but not making much money that way. I would judge some gigs sometimes. I'd work in a wood shop sometimes, and just kind of piecemeal in my life together. And in the back of your mind or in the front of your mind, I really is what am I going to do next?
Well, it seems like you were piecing it together, doing shit you enjoy. So it was kind of one of those where it's everything I do to pay the bills is the hobby. At what point do I take that step? And I use the term real job. People like to say real job.
Right.
But I'm guessing you enjoy working in a wood shop too.
Yeah, but it wasn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I think I wanted what I wanted to actually do. I still wanted to be involved in BMX. And that's part of the reason that even if stuff was didn't pay a lot, or it was, I wanted to be part of it. I want to be part of BMX. So anything I could be a part of, I was participating in, which in my mind, I'm hey, I'm super present. I'm at everything. I'm playing a number of different roles at events. I might be a rider at one event. I might be an organizer at the next one. I might be a judge at the next one. I might be giving input on what the rules should be at an event.
It might be your event. The next event might be an event that you're putting on.
Right.
I mean, you, with the Uncovered series, you wear a lot of hats, and I think you're an ideal person for this job without knowing a whole lot about the job. But I just feel like if they need somebody to show up and speak on behalf of the sport, I can't think of many people I'd put ahead of you. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great fit. And the fact that you are able and willing to do it, to uproot your life and move over here, is fantastic. I'm happy you did it, because I would be nervous if somebody else did it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
it just, when this came up, it wasn't I wasn't necessarily looking for this specifically, but I definitely was looking for that next thing. And I was trying to put myself in a position where that quote next thing could materialize. And this is just happens to be, I think, through my commitment of participating in BMX, this is the opportunity that happened to present itself, and I couldn't be more stoked.
Did you ever live anywhere outside of New Jersey and Philly in your entire life?
No, obviously I've traveled a lot. And I mean, when I did my taxes last year, I was gone 6 months of the year and at my house 6 months of the year. So I'm gone a lot, but no, technically I've always lived within the New Jersey, Philadelphia area. So
is this nerve-wracking at all? I mean, you're not just moving far, you're moving real far.
No, honestly, I think it makes me more excited about it. Honestly, I think I would be less excited if you were oh, Van, there's a great job for you in LA or anywhere, New York City, whatever. I feel like that would be less. This is an experience, coming here and you're meeting a different culture. You're meeting so many amazing people. You're discovering a different scene, different spots. That's one of the awesomest things is the riding spots are outrageous. Things that would have just been shut down years ago if they were in the States.
I mean, it's all jibby shit, but even the shit downstairs from your apartment.
Yeah.
It's it at home would pedal blocks to get to that, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's fun stuff, it's cool stuff.
Yeah, there's all these weird little rainbow rails and little banks right out in front of my apartment, and then you go on some missions and you find the most ridiculous transition spots, and yeah, it's amazing.
So, at your job working for Tokyo 2020, have you had anything happen yet where you had to put your foot down and be like, I know you're pretty new there, but has anything happened where you were like, no, man, for BMX, it's got to be this way?
Yeah, no, it's already interesting to me because the first couple weeks I was sort of like struggling. I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And they said to expect that, so I don't think they were stressing, and I was probably stressing more than I should have been. But you want to get in there, you want to feel productive, you want to feel like you're contributing. And
well, it's exciting. You show up excited and ready to make a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
But since there's been, I go to a lot of meetings, and I'm going to a lot of meetings with people that aren't BMXers. So they're asking me the questions, and I've realized quickly how important me being here is, because they don't understand a lot of things that are common sense to you and me about BMX and how a BMX event should be put on.
I can't even imagine. I just think of all the conversations I've had in my life, and I'm sure you have as well, that what we do isn't some form of racing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, no, it's different.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so it's...
Do people seem to grasp it when you explain it?
Yeah, I mean, they seem to listen at least. We'll see in the end. Hopefully they actually are listening. But a lot of people, they listen to me and they write down a bunch of notes, so, I mean, obviously I'm only a month into this, so there's a lot to still learn and figure out. But again, questions are being asked and giving them answers. So it's good.
It seems to be a good thing as well, because they seem to respect your opinion and give you enough authority to where I believe you were saying that you are going to bring in a couple guys working with you for different positions, and you're going to bring in some Japanese BMX riders, guys that have additional knowledge of the sport. Is that correct? So there's going to be more minds in this big machine that know what BMX is, what freestyle is, how to do this right.
So that's what's kind of fun right now. I mean, obviously I have my people that are above me, my bosses or whatever, but then for like the actual BMX freestyle program, I'm kind of like top of the food chain, so to speak. So now there's a few other roles that I'll get to fill, and like I said,
they're relying on you to get the right person in those roles.
Right. And of course, it's very beneficial to have bilingual riders. So, of course, looking at a lot of the talking, and I've met a lot of good Japanese riders in the scene so far. So I'm talking and looking at some Japanese riders for those roles, which is, pretty awesome. Like to be able to bring in a rider and support the scene a little bit. Like, okay, cool. These local riders are going to get a rad opportunity because of this. And that's a cool feeling to be able to provide someone with that opportunity. Like, hey man, you want to work for the Olympics? I need some.
Kind of a crazy one. Well, and even on top of that, you can't say this, but I can. Hey, this is Van Homan. Do you want to work for the Olympics? Like a lot of these guys you probably never met, and they've probably watched you in videos and stuff, and all of a sudden you're here being like, let's work on the fucking Olympics.
Pretty wild. And it's, I guess I got to kind of be a little reserved on some of the things that we discussed, but it's really fun because there's a lot of ideas I'm able to pitch right now that I'm looking forward to, hoping they like materialize, but more input than I might have expected.
Oh, that's awesome.
So like, I'm excited about some possibilities of like what the general event could be. So
nice. No, I think it's crucial to have guys like you, and I think it's a big step in the right directions to do that. I mean, it's like when ESPN first did the X Games and whatnot. There's we don't need to get into it, but certain people are anti-Olympics and whatnot. But it's like any event, when you have a guy who knows it working there, it's like, oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. You're good. It's like you couldn't take Mr. Business. How many times have you seen Mr. Businessman try to come into BMX and do a clothing company or do an event and it just fucking failed because you don't get it, Right. But when you get somebody that gets it, it's like you actually have a fair chance at this being fantastic.
I couldn't be more. It's doing nothing but providing opportunities in my mind.
How's the language barrier in the office?
That can be a struggle.
I'm guessing it's an English-speaking office primarily because they hired you.
No.
Okay.
There's some English-speaking people, but they have there's this one lady, Mariko, that's like a godsend for me because she speaks really good English and she kind of translates a lot for me and helps me through a lot of different things. But I would say that like 50% of the people I can't talk to at all, and then another 25. Maybe like another 30% I can like kind of communicate with. And then at most 20% of the people I can actually speak to, completely communicate with. So it's definitely a lot of people that don't speak English, but you just use translators in the meetings and things like that. Like that's one thing you got to get used to real quick is like you'll get on a rant, you'll be talking for a while, and you have to remember to stop long enough to let the translator
max out 5 sentences and then let them take it.
Yeah, let them say that, and then you can continue. So that's kind of an interesting process and experience. And I'll get like a lot of emails that are just completely in Japanese that I'm just like delete. Like they could say something really important, I don't know, but I'm like, if they need
please
me,
respond and I'll give you 10 grand.
If they need me to know about it, I assume they'll send it to me in English because I get a lot of Japanese emails that I have absolutely no clue what they're talking about.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So how far do you want to get in this? You want to, I know you're trying to learn a little bit of Japanese. I see flashcards up in your house and stuff. Are you trying to dive in and get fluent here?
Yeah, I'm doing my best. I mean, fluent I think would be an optimistic goal, but trying to pick up as much as I can. It's I can order a whiskey, so I can,
I mean that would be a great skill to have just for life.
I can say, excuse me, whiskey on the rocks, please.
Double.
I say, double whiskey low kudasai.
Yeah, I just kind of point to the beer and I'm like, one of those.
So I'm trying to pick up what I can. I might look into some classes or something because I would like to. I would like to get it halfway decent. I don't expect to, again, be fluent but I would like to be able to have basic communication skills. So I need to work at it a little bit.
Yeah, I think something like that too is just like such a great skill to have for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Whether you're using it professionally or just for fun, like it just even with situations like Feast coming to Hiroshima and stuff like that, where it's like if we have a good BMX guy that can speak both and is an incredible guy, like I think that's just a great skill to have.
Yeah.
But bilingual is huge. That's the one thing. If I ever had children, they'd be taking language classes immediately.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things like growing up in a small town in New Jersey. It's kind of like the speak English or die kind of mentality, like redneck town, and you're like, you never think it's important, and then you start traveling the world and realize like how amazing it would be to be bilingual, first of all, and second of all, like how many doors that would open. Regardless of what language it is, being able to speak multiple languages.
No, I mean, and I get really jealous when there's people who's like, I think Daniel Dares speaks like 5 or 6.
Wow.
I mean, a lot of them are Latin based, so you got your Italian, you got your Portuguese, Spanish are all very similar. Decent at French. He's like got a legit speaks some German. Like it's impressive, and I think it's just something to where his dad traveled as well. So I think he was traveling his whole life and whatnot, and it's just like, wow, I have a hard time ordering a beer at home.
Yeah.
So I speak too quickly.
We'll see. I'll do my best, but I don't know.
How's your relationship with riding BMX now that you kind of have a 9 to 5? You go to a 9 to 5, 5 days a week?
Yeah.
That's new. Are you still finding time to ride regularly?
Yeah, that's the thing. The 9 to 5 is a little strange, but it's bizarrely kind of comforting in a way too. I think maybe it is just because of that whole like looming factor, like, oh, what am I going to do? It never felt like I was always kind of struggling, like financially, and like didn't know exactly where to put my focus all the time. It's kind of like, okay, should I be focusing on this or this or this? And you're kind of trying to just, like you kind of said earlier, you're just wearing a lot of hats and trying to juggle a lot of balls and things like that. So it's kind of comforting that I know, like, okay, this is what I need to focus on, and the other stuff is like kind of a bonus. This is like, if I want to go to other events, that's for me. It's like not because I feel like I need to like keep my sponsors or to do this or do that. Like, it's just like, okay, like I want to go to this event because I think it's a rad event, or I want to create this event because I think it's a rad event. Like that's something. But anyway, so I'm getting off topic. But yeah, so anyway, like going to 9 to 5 is a little bit weird, but I'm into it. I definitely look forward to Friday. So I'm that like regular guy now. They call it a salary man here, which is basically like a salary man. Like there's like a lot
you make your salary. You show up to work every day.
Yeah, there's a lot of blue suits like on the way to the office in the morning. But so the point. Let me get to the point. I think just being in a new city and kind of my time becomes more valuable. It has me more motivated to ride. I think just the exploring factor, and so there's been a lot of amazing people that will pick me up and take me to a cool skate park or a cool spot, and so that's been really nice. So yeah, I'd say I'm like the new environment has me more motivated,
I've seen
even
that
though I
with
have less time.
A lot of riders before. I think
Yeah.
just when you have nothing on your plate, a lot of times you do nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you have something on your plate, you just get up and do shit.
Right.
So we were talking about. We'll get into this in a second.
My accountant said that to me one time. Like, he's like, if you ever need something done, you give it to the busiest person you know.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds stupid, but like, it's just like, because it's contagious. If you're busy, you're getting shit done. You just keep getting shit done. Like,
so you have your Japanese best friend Hiroshi out here.
Yeah.
So and that's what I was talking about Hiroshi last night. I was like, this guy's fucking crazy because he's always going.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, nice, time to relax. And he's like, no, we're going to go ride, then we're going to dinner here, then we get drinks here, and then we go over here. And and it's just like, damn, this guy's hardcore.
Yeah, he's been awesome. So like Chad DeGroot introduced me to my friend Hiroshi, and he's a flatlander, it just kind of like quickly made friends, and he's been kind of showing me around the city and showing me it's nice because it's showing me more than just, there's like some of the younger street riders and stuff that show you like really awesome spots and things like that, but like Hiroshi's kind of connected in a way that he's showing you like the culture and
early
like
40s.
Yeah, I think he's like 41 or something, like so around the same age, and like so it's kind of nice when you hang out with somebody who's interested in more than just BMX. Like, it's like
Hiroshi's a fashion designer.
Yeah, like so he has like a clothing brand and like designs.
430?
Like, yeah, 430. So
check that shit out.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Hell yeah. And so he's, I don't know, just a good dude, good flatland rider, puts on a lot of like flatland type events in the scene and things like that. And yeah, like you said, just a mover and a shaker, and knows where to be and what to do to have a good time. So it's a good person to be linked up with.
Dude, it's so nice being in a city, like having somebody hold your hand. Like having that local being like, no, these are the places we go get food. These are the places we go drink, and don't go over here. It makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I think I went to Barcelona like twice before, just kind of went there, and it was awesome. I had a great time. But then I went and hung out with, you ever meet Fernando?
Yeah.
Kind of the spot dude down there.
Yep.
And one time I went and he was around and we met up.
I think we were the first people to like really link up with him. It was on that Fit Barcelona trip years ago. Before he was like Fernando, the guy, dude, like
the mayor.
Yeah.
But yeah, then like one time he happened to be in town and I was there and he took us to dinner. I think maybe we weren't even really riding. Maybe it was kind of like it was on a BMX trip, but it would have been like at Feast, Montpellier, and a couple other places. So I think it was like we were flying out of Barcelona. So I think it was kind of chilling.
It's awesome. Like you said, when you get that kind of local experience, it's so much better. That's what even the other day, like I'm a regular at the karaoke bar in Sandra now. And, it's kind of this hole in the wall karaoke bar, and it's all locals. And 2 days ago, the whole bar was like singing some Japanese version of Happy Birthday for me, and like throwing confetti up and stuff, and I've got this like happy birthday hat on, and like this is just all local people. It's not like you go to a lot of the areas like Ginza or things like that, and it's just like it's kind of all tourist, and there's like it caters to us, like towards Westerners or expats, but like but when you get outside of that and you get that more local experience, it's so awesome. Like you're like, oh, okay, like this is. Yeah, like it's like if you're in Philadelphia, like you're not gonna hang out in Old City all the time, like you're not gonna like congregate around the Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
But it's easy to do stuff like that if you don't know where to go.
It's even living in San Diego. I don't go downtown. Downtown San Diego sucks. It's just like weird commercial douche bars, like guys wearing fucking collared shirts and stuff, and like
salary man.
And my neighborhood, no, I think they're salary douches, But like in my neighborhood, there's just a ton of cool shit that's like within walking distance from my house, so I can stumble home drunk. But no, I that's the perfect recipe. I think if Chad didn't introduce you to Hiroshi, I think things might be different right now. I'm sure you'd still be having a good time. You'd still be pedaling. You'd still be kicking ass. But like that dude's kind of seems like a bit of a game changer.
Yeah, for sure. Like I mean, I think you meet other friends and things. But yeah,
that kickstarted the process.
Awesome. Stoked.
So you're still riding regularly, going to put in your weekend sessions?
Yeah, I mean, I ride like...
I guess right now it's probably dark when you get off work. So
it's dark, but I mean, I'll definitely still get in sessions. Like, went to I keep forgetting about that crazy tranny spot we should go to.
Yeah.
But...
that bar? The crazy tranny bar?
But no, like... No, but also like maybe go to a spot or two at night or a skate park. so I'm not like riding every single night, but I definitely like at least once or twice a week I still ride after work. And then, hit it on the weekends. So
no, it's fucking perfect. It seems like a really, really good situation. What's next?
Right now, I mean, just focusing on figuring out my job and trying to steer that ship the best I can. We were already talking about maybe doing an uncovered over here.
Yeah.
So that's kind of in the works. Like me and Brian are talking. Like he's going to do some stuff in the States. I'm going to do some stuff over here. So
it's going to keep on moving forward even though you're over here?
So we're trying to still do uncovered. At first, it was a little up in the air. I didn't know how, but it's still nothing's completely confirmed yet. But we're working on it. So hopefully that'll all come together. And kind of focusing on that. And
going home for Christmas?
Yeah, going home for Christmas.
So you'll go home for Christmas through New Year's?
Yeah, I have from the 22nd. I leave. My flight's the 22nd back to the States, and then I'll be, I think, the 4th I come back. So I'll be back at work on the 7th, January 7th. So
You flying out of Haneda or Narita?
I don't know. I have to check.
Dude, you got to start. Only Haneda. Seriously, man. Only Haneda. So after that, when do you think your next time to the States will be?
Hard to tell, honestly. Toying with the idea of doing a quick mission over to Swamp Fest. I'd really like to be there, but I haven't decided yet. Flights aren't cheap and time isn't.
Flights aren't cheap. First time in your life, you make money.
Still not enough to cover those flights on the regular.
But so you got that, and then it's kind of just up in the air. You're just going to be spending a bunch of time in Japan.
Yeah, just like I said, just trying to focus on making sure I learn what I need to do at this job. I think that's the tricky part is there's like a lot of different facets to a company that big.
Yeah.
So you know what needs to get done. The hard part is figuring out who do I talk to and when do I tell them that this needs to happen? Like that's the tricky part. Like you're like, okay, this needs to happen, but which piece of the tree do I need to talk to get that done? So that's kind of what I'm learning now. Is
everybody under the same roof? All your bosses? Like it's are there multiple offices?
I mean, there's a lot of people in our office, but then I've had to go like to the other side of the city for meetings and things like that where there's other offices. So it's like it's a pretty legit operation. It's a big operation.
I just got something popped up on my computer. It's an email from my dad, and my dad is like kind of new to like the internet and stuff. So I just saw it was a YouTube video that was called "Why Hosting the Olympics Isn't Worth It for Your City." So who knows? I'm sure it's some bullshit. But cool, man. Well, I guess we're gonna go ride. What do you have to add here?
Yeah, I think thanks for listening. Thanks for everyone who's been so like positive and just encouraging about this new opportunity. Having a great time over here and going to do the best job I can. So thank you.
And well, most importantly, to me, it's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
And just so everybody knows, we are going to the #1 steakhouse in all of professional wrestling tonight, Ribera. That's where we're doing my birthday dinner, and it's going to be fantastic. So you should check out Ribera. Google that, and you'll just be like, the fuck's the matter with you, man? You're an adult. But this is what we're doing. So we're about to go ride and do some cool shit, and got another pretty cool podcast while I'm in Japan lined up for dropping on Tuesday. So
sayonara, Johnny.
I don't know what that means, but
means see you later.
Thanks, Van. All right, that does it for this week. Big thank you to Van for the insight and letting us invade his life. Be sure you're following Van on Instagram to keep up with all his crazy adventures in Japan at Vandiver Homan. And until next week, just remember, it doesn't count if you don't pull the rollback. Thank you for listening. Please send money.